palm trees swayed, their rhythm a sinister metronome against the azure Caribbean sky. Little St. James Island, a jewel in the necklace of the Virgin Islands, shimmered deceptively. On the surface, a tropical paradise. Beneath, a den of unspeakable acts. At its heart resided Jeffrey Epstein, a man of wealth and secrets, his eyes holding a chilling void where a soul should be. His gaze swept over young girls, their laughter echoing across the manicured lawns, a discordant symphony to his ears. Epstein, a puppeteer of power, orchestrated a world where wealth bought silence and young girls became commodities. He moved with a predator's grace, his smile a disarming facade. He believed himself untouchable, protected by a fortress of money and influence. His world, however, was built on a foundation of sand, ready to crumble under the weight of his crimes. The air hung heavy with the scent of salt water and a pervasive unease. The laughter of the girls was laced with a chilling undercurrent, a silent plea lost in the tropical breeze. They were trapped, ensnared in a web spun from money and power, their youthful innocence a cruel casualty in Epstein's twisted game. Unbeknownst to Epstein, a storm was brewing on the horizon. The whispers of his depravity had begun to escape the confines of his island fortress. A reckoning was coming, carried on the winds of justice and the courage of survivors who dared to break their silence. The island of shadows would soon be bathed in the harsh light of truth. Across the miles, in the bustling newsrooms and quiet corners of law enforcement, a different kind of storm was gathering. Journalists, driven by an unwavering pursuit of justice, pieced together the fragments of Epstein's crimes. They chased leads, their fingers dancing across keyboards, unearthing the truth one horrifying detail at a time. Among them was a dedicated journalist, her determination fueled by the stories of the victims. She listened to their accounts, her heart aching with their pain, her resolve hardening with each whispered truth. She knew their stories deserved to be heard, their abusers held accountable. Meanwhile, a team of tenacious investigators worked tirelessly, their pursuit of justice unwavering. They meticulously collected evidence, their every move a testament to their commitment to the victims. They faced roadblocks, encountered silence bought with wealth, and navigated a labyrinth of power and corruption. These were not just names on a case file. They were real people, their lives forever scarred by Epstein's actions. Each document, each testimony, was a testament to the devastating impact of his crimes. The whispers of truth were getting louder, their chorus growing stronger, threatening to shatter the walls of silence that protected Epstein and his empire. The net began to tighten. The whispers became shouts, echoing through the halls of justice. No longer able to hide behind his wealth and influence, Epstein found himself facing the consequences of his actions. The walls of his carefully constructed world were closing in. The investigation, once a whisper in the corridors of power, now roared to life. The names of Epstein's powerful associates surfaced, sending shockwaves through the upper echelons of society. Panic rippled through the ranks of those who had turned a blind eye, who had chosen silence over accountability. The victims, emboldened by the growing momentum of the investigation, found their voices. They shared their stories, their words a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Their courage in the face of unimaginable trauma was a beacon of hope, illuminating the path towards justice. With each passing day, the evidence against Epstein mounted. The stories of the victims, once dismissed and silenced, now formed the bedrock of the case. The world watched, captivated and horrified, as the true extent of Epstein's depravity was laid bare. The arrest of Jeffrey Epstein sent shockwaves through the world. Finally, it seemed, he would be held accountable for his heinous crimes. The victims, who had endured years of silence and pain, dared to hope for justice. However, the road to justice is rarely smooth, and Epstein's case was no exception. Delays and legal maneuvering by his high-powered legal team obstructed the pursuit of truth. The wheels of justice, it seemed, turned slowly, too slowly, for those who had waited so long for this moment. The victims, forced to relive their trauma through the legal process, faced each delay with a mixture of frustration and unwavering determination. They refused to be silenced, their voices a powerful reminder that the pursuit of justice was far from over. Despite the setbacks, the prosecution team pressed on, their commitment to the victims unwavering. They knew the world was watching, and they were determined to ensure that Epstein's crimes would not go unpunished. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation. Journalists from around the world packed the benches, their pens poised to record every detail of the trial that had captivated the globe. The eyes of the world were fixed on the defendant, Jeffrey Epstein, his face a mask of indifference. The prosecution presented a compelling case, weaving together the testimonies of the victims, forensic evidence, and the chilling details of Epstein's elaborate operation. The courtroom fell silent as the victims took the stand, their voices trembling with a mixture of fear and determination as they recounted their experiences. Epstein's defense team, composed of some of the most formidable legal minds money could buy, fought tooth and nail to discredit the victims and undermine the prosecution's case. They employed every legal tactic at their disposal, attempting to cast doubt on the victims' accounts and portray Epstein as a victim of a conspiracy. The tension in the courtroom was palpable as the trial progressed. The weight of the evidence, the harrowing testimonies of the victims, and the knowledge that justice was at stake hung heavy in the air. After weeks of grueling testimony and legal arguments, the jury reached a verdict. The courtroom held its breath as the foreman read the decision. Guilty. A collective gasp filled the room, followed by a wave of relief and elation. Justice had prevailed. Epstein, the man who had once seemed untouchable, was now a convicted sex offender, his empire of abuse shattered. For the victims, it was a moment of validation, a testament to their courage in coming forward and sharing their stories. The verdict sent shockwaves through the world. It was a victory not only for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, but for victims of sexual abuse everywhere. It served as a stark reminder that no one, regardless of wealth or power, is above the law. The fight, however, was far from over. While Epstein's conviction was a major victory, it was just one step towards dismantling the systems that allowed his abuse to flourish. The focus now shifted to holding accountable those who had aided and abetted his crimes. Epstein's conviction sent ripples of shock and accountability through the corridors of power. His network of associates, once shielded by their wealth and influence, now found themselves under scrutiny. The world was watching, demanding to know who else had participated in or enabled his crimes. The investigation expanded, casting a wide net over Epstein's inner circle. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime confidant and alleged accomplice, became a person of interest. The authorities were determined to uncover the full extent of her involvement in Epstein's operation. The victims, emboldened by Epstein's conviction, continued to come forward, sharing their stories and demanding justice for the abuse they had suffered. Their courage inspired others to break their silence, fueling a global movement against sexual abuse and exploitation. Epstein's conviction was a watershed moment, a testament to the power of speaking truth to power. It demonstrated that even the most powerful individuals could be held accountable for their crimes and that the voices of survivors could no longer be silenced. The fight against sex trafficking is a global one, requiring a united front and unwavering commitment. Epstein's case, while shocking in its scope and depravity, served as a stark reminder of the pervasiveness of this crime. Governments, law enforcement agencies, and organizations around the world are stepping up their efforts to combat this heinous crime. New laws are being enacted, resources are being allocated, and international collaborations are being forged to dismantle trafficking networks and bring perpetrators to justice. Technology is playing an increasingly important role in the fight against trafficking. From online platforms used to identify and rescue victims to artificial intelligence employed to track down traffickers, innovation is providing new tools to combat this evolving crime. The most powerful weapon in the fight against trafficking, however, is awareness. By shining a light on this dark underworld, by educating ourselves and others about the signs of trafficking, we can all play a part in preventing exploitation and protecting the vulnerable. The legacy of Jeffrey Epstein is a dark one, forever etched in the annals of crime. But from the ashes of his depravity rises a powerful movement for change. The victims, in their bravery and resilience, have ignited a global conversation about sexual abuse, power, and accountability. Their voices, once silenced by fear and intimidation, now resonate around the world. inspiring others to come forward, to seek justice, and to demand an end to the culture of silence that protects abusers. The fight against sex trafficking is far from over. It requires a sustained and coordinated effort from governments, law enforcement organizations, and individuals around the world. But the tide is turning. The conviction of Jeffrey Epstein, while a bittersweet victory, serves as a powerful reminder that justice can prevail, that even the most powerful can be held accountable, and that the voices of survivors have the power to change the world. It is a testament to the enduring human spirit, the unwavering pursuit of justice, and the hope for a future free from exploitation and abuse.
Help the